Welcome to the iTree study of your town or city's urban forest. Thank you so much for your time and support of the project. Your contribution is really valuable. This video will explain the survey process of the plot you have been given, which is broken into 27 simple steps within 3 sections. The first section looks at the land, the second the shrubs, and the third involves measuring trees if you have them in your plot. If you would like more information, please check the user guide provided. To complete this survey, you will need a tape measure, a tablet or smartphone if you have access, a compass or compass app, a pencil or pen, a camera, and markers for the plot centre and boundaries. Step 1. Locate the centre point of your plot. This is shown as a dot on the plot map. Take a look at your map and try to match the centre point. It might be easiest to compare with the aerial photo in the bottom right side of the page. You can also use what 3 words or coordinates if you feel confident doing so. Make sure you visibly mark your centre point so you can find it again. A tin of baked beans would work well. There is some leeway, but please be careful to locate your plot centre within a couple of metres of that indicated in the plot map. In other words, the plot centre should not be placed at random. Please don't move it so as to include your favourite tree. Step 2. Mark out the boundary of your plot. It is helpful to have some markers to visualise where the edge of your plot is. Standing in the centre, measure 11.3 metres to the north. If you don't have a long enough tape measure, you could pace it, or cut string to this length and use it instead. Place a visual marker at this 11.3 metre point. We suggest using a different object to the plot centre so you can tell the difference between the two. Repeat this for the south, east and west. You can use a compass or compass app on your phone or tablet to help you locate the directions. Or you can use the enclosed plot map and orientate according to the north arrow marker. Step 3. Draw a rough sketch map of your plot. This will help you with making some estimates when you get to later sections. You can draw on the enclosed plot map and please include anything that is permanent and covers the ground. This includes grass, gravel, patios, decking, pavement, buildings, flower beds, shrubs and trees. Try to draw these on the map to scale as best you can. This will be helpful when making your estimations. Have a look at this example. Step 4. Take some photos of your plot. It would be really helpful for us to see what your plot looks like. We would suggest taking at least one photo of the entire plot. You may also like to stand in the centre of the plot and take a photo in each direction, north, east, south and west, or choose extra photos if there are any trees or shrubs you are unable to identify or if you have any particularly interesting specimens. We would be more than happy to receive these. Now we come to the first section of measurements. The following steps involve looking at the land within your plot, such as the types of ground cover and what the land is used for. Your sketch map will come in handy for this section, which we think will take you about 45 minutes. So, step 5 is to record your unique reference. This can be found on your plot map and cover letter. Next, step 6. Estimate how much of the plot can be measured. If you can see and access the whole of your plot, this will be 100%. However, it's possible that you won't be able to access the whole of your plot because some of it may cover your neighbour's garden. Taking that into account, how much of the plot that you have marked or partially marked out do you think you can measure or see? If you can see parts of the plot but can't access them, then you may be able to guess or get your neighbour involved. If you don't think you're able to, then please estimate how much of the plot you think this makes up and subtract this from 100%. Step 7. Estimate some ground covers in the plot. This is where your sketch map will come in handy. There are a few key types of ground cover we would like you to estimate first before we ask for some more specific ones. If you are able to estimate these to the nearest 10%, that would be great. The ground covers that we would like you to estimate in this step are as follows. Tree cover. Within the plot area you have marked out, approximately how much of this is covered by tree canopy above you. The aerial view of your sketch map will help you with this estimate. Please record this as a percentage. Shrub cover. Similarly, roughly what percentage is covered by shrubs? We define shrubs as woody plants that are over 1 metre in height but with a trunk less than 22 centimetres in circumference. Next is the potential plantable space. Estimate how much of the plot is not already covered by tree canopy, buildings, or hard surfaces such as patios or decking. This remaining space, in theory, would hold the potential to plant more trees. This helps us to calculate how much space across your town or city hasn't been used for planting trees. Step 8. Now we need to estimate some more specific ground covers in the plot. Again, your sketch map will come in handy for this step. Looking at the different ground covers you have drawn onto the map, such as patio and shrubs, have a go at guessing how much of the plot these cover. There are some categories to record these under. These are pre-selected by the iTree Eco assessment software. They include building, cement, tarmac, rock and stones, soil, mulch, herb and ivy, maintained grass, unmaintained grass, and water. Try and guess these to the nearest 10%, and altogether they will need to add up to 100%. If all of the plot is covered by grass, then you would record this as 100%. It's worth considering that if you have shrubs or trees in your garden, there may be some soil or mulch under them that you'll need to include. Step 9 is to record the land use of your plot. This should be nice and easy. If the plot is entirely within private property, simply record 100% under residential. If your plot falls partly onto another land use, check the other categories, such as park or transportation, in the manual. That's the measurements for section 1 complete. Next, we will look at the shrubs in your plot. The key thing to remember is that a shrub is a woody plant taller than 1 metre in height and with a trunk circumference of less than 22 centimetres. It might be worth checking this before you record them. If it has a trunk circumference of more than 22 centimetres, we will count this as a tree and use the form on the back to record it in the next section. To measure the trunk circumference, use a measuring tape and wrap it around the main trunk of the shrub. This needs to be done at a height of 1.3 metres, known as breast height. So, step 10, record your shrub species. Some gardens contain a lot of shrubs and some contain very few. The key thing here is to make recording the shrubs nice and simple, so we will group together shrubs which are close together in one block and just record the most dominant species. In other words, the one that represents the largest proportion of the block. If you have a few different blocks of shrubs dotted around the garden, it is best to record these as separate entries. Step 11. Measure or estimate the height of the shrub block. The shrub height may vary in places, but just pick the highest point. Don't forget, the height should be 1 metre or taller. Step 12. Record the shrub area. Imagine that all of your blocks of shrubs add up to 100%, which we will call the total shrub area. Now we need to estimate how much of that total area each of the shrub blocks represents. Please have a go at estimating this as a percentage. These should all add up to 100%. For example, if you had 2 blocks of roughly the same size, these would be 50% each. Step 13. Record the amount of shrub missing. For this step, we would like you to imagine your block of shrubs sitting in a box. The height and width of the box are the same width and height as the shrub, but you will notice that the shrub doesn't fill the whole box because it's not the same shape. Please have a guess at how much of this box is empty and is not filled by the shrub. That completes this section of shrub measurements. If you don't have any trees in your plot, you're all done. Thank you, and please refer to the manual for what to do next. If you do have trees in your plot, please complete the final third section. We estimate this will take you up to 2 hours. For this project, we want to measure any trees in your plot that have trunks with a circumference greater than 22 centimetres. Some trees may have a canopy that covers some of the plot, but if the trunk is not within the circle, then it is not included in the following measurements. To start off with the trees, we have to consider some of their characteristics. This is more general information. So step 14, was the tree planted? Did you, a previous homeowner, or the local authority plant this tree? If it is in your garden, the answer is probably yes. The answer is also likely to be yes if the tree is on a pavement. Sometimes trees self-seed, which means they were not planted, though this is more common in woodland areas. If it looks like it has seeded itself, then the answer is no. Step 15, is it a street tree? If the tree is growing next to or along a right-of-way, such as a pavement or a road, the answer is yes. If the tree is in your front or back garden, then the answer is no. Step 16 is to identify the tree species. You may know or be able to identify your tree already, but if not, have a go at using the enclosed Tree ID guide to some common garden trees. Alternatively, there are plenty of other resources such as the PlantNet app. Step 17 is for trees near buildings. If the tree you are measuring is over 3 metres in height and within 18 metres of a residential building, such as your house or a neighbour's, please record how far away the tree is from the building in metres and what direction it is in. Buildings don't need to be in the plot to be recorded. If there are multiple buildings within 18 metres, then please record the distance and direction from all of these. You don't need to include garages in this. Now we have looked at the characteristics, we have to record some measurements of the tree. The first is step 18, circumference of the tree trunk at breast height. We take this to mean the circumference at 1.3 metres above ground level. If you cannot do it at this height, please note down the height you took the measurement at. To determine the circumference, please wrap a measuring tape all around the trunk in a complete circle and record the size in centimetres. Most trees just have one trunk, so only one measurement needs to be taken, or if your tree has multiple stems, please measure them all. Next, we need to take some height measurements. Step 19 is the total height of the tree from the ground to the top of the tree. When we say the top, we mean the tallest part you can see. To do this, we recommend downloading an app called Arboreal. It is easy to use and takes you through step by step what to do so it can tell you the height of the tree. Arboreal will allow you to measure 5 trees for free, or using your own height as a reference is a good way to estimate tree heights. Please record in metres. Step 20 is the live top. If the tree is healthy and alive all the way to the top, then this measurement is the same as the total height. However, some trees may have what we call dieback at the top of the crown, where some of the branches and leaves are dead. If you can see dieback on your tree, then measure from the ground to the top of the live crown using Arboreal or estimation methods as above. Record in metres. Step 21 measures the crown base, which is the height from the ground to the base of the crown. In other words, from the ground to the height of the lowest branch. Use Arboreal or estimation methods as above. Record in metres. Step 22, the width of the crown. Stand beneath the tree using the north arrow on your field map or a compass to locate yourself at the most northern extent of the tree's crown. Sometimes it helps if you stand in line with the trunk and look directly up. Then, heading in a straight line to the south, use a measuring tape or pace out the width of the crown to the most southern edge. One big step is roughly equal to 1 metre. Record in metres. Repeat the same, but for the east to west direction. Step 23 looks at the condition of the crown. How healthy is the tree? This is a visual assessment and just an estimate. If the tree is completely healthy, it will score 100%. If you can see some dead branches or leaves, try and determine what percentage of the crown this represents and minus it from 100%. For example, if you think that 10% of the branches are dead, then the tree will have a good condition of 90%. Remember, the higher the percentage, the healthier the tree's crown. Step 24, percent missing. Again, this is a visual assessment and an estimation of how many branches and leaves are missing from a complete crown. This requires a bit of imagination. It is best to think of the typical crown shape. For many trees this will be a sphere. If the crown completely fills the sphere shape, it will score 0% because there is nothing missing. If you notice that there is a gap in the branches, try and decide how much, as a percentage, of the sphere this gap represents. There may be more than one gap, so add these percentages together. What might be missing? Branches might have fallen due to wind, purposely removed, or snapped off. Step 25. Crown light exposure. This refers to the amount of light that the tree's crown is exposed to throughout the day. Think of the tree crown as a cube with 4 sides and 1 on top. If all of these are exposed to sunlight for at least a few hours a day, record as 5. However, if one or more of these sides are blocked by another tree or building, for example, then these sides will not receive sunlight. Therefore, count how many sides are not blocked and record this as a number between 1 and 5. Please don't use half scores, such as 1.5, if one side is partially blocked from the light. We are looking for an estimate, so please stick with the majority. Now we need to look under the tree. Step 26 is the percent impervious. This is an estimation of the amount of hard surfaces below the tree canopy. This includes roofs, concrete, tarmac, and anything else that water can't pass through. For example, if there is a paved patio, you might think that it covers 20% of the land beneath the tree canopy. And finally, step 27 is the percent shrub. This is an estimation of how much of the area below the tree is covered by shrubs. For example, if there is an area of shrubs covering just less than half of the ground beneath the tree canopy, then record as 40%. If you only have one tree in your plot, then congratulations, you have finished the survey. If there are more than one tree in your plot, please carry out these measurements for each tree. Once completed, head to the What Next section in the guide to find out how to submit your results. We hope you have found this video helpful in your fieldwork. Thank you for watching and for taking part in this iTree survey. The data you've collected is really appreciated. All of these measurements are used to determine the structure of the urban forest and therefore the benefits it provides. Don't hesitate to get in touch with us at Treeconomics or with your local council's project team if you have any questions. Good luck!